Hey designers, and welcome back. I'm so glad that you have joined me on this beautiful Friday. We're about to get ready together, so stick around. Well, can you guys believe that we are at the end of the first week of January already? Oh my goodness, it is already the 6th of January on Friday, and I just cannot even believe it. This year is already screaming by, and I thought last year went fast. Mercy, mercy. Hope you've all had a great new year. What all's the new year brought your way so far? Hopefully it's been good to you. I know everybody's kind of calming down from the stress of the holidays and unpacking all the Christmas goodies and putting all the trees away. We still haven't gotten ours down yet, you guys. If you've been following the vlogs, then you know we've been just a slight bit busy and just haven't had a chance to do it. But I am hoping that I can get started on that this afternoon. Not extremely sure though, because we do have someone coming over to the house tomorrow, and with everything else that I need to get done before they come over. Not sure that we'll actually make it to getting this tree stuff down. Might just have to wait till tomorrow evening to get started, and who knows, maybe even have to wait till Monday. I really don't mind though, to be honest with you, because Christmas came and went so fast this year. It felt like we just put that tree up, and here it is, time to get it down. So not bothering me that it's still up in there. We're still enjoying it. Now, we're not burning the outside lights. They're still up, but we haven't turned them on since New Year. So at least maybe to the rest of the outside world, we seem a little bit normal and in control of things. Of course, if any of them watch these vlogs, then they know control of our life is far from reality. Oh, my word, my word. I have been sleeping better though. Any of you that's been following along know that I've been having some trouble sleeping. Not sure what has been up with that, but the last couple of nights I've actually slept really good. Gone to bed earlier than I was able to go to bed before. There were a couple of nights I stayed up all night long into the next day. So it has definitely been nice being able to sleep. That is for sure. And I don't know, maybe it was just, you know, your mind all keyed up from the holidays and all the busyness of everything that you have to do and the responsibilities. I'd heard people talk about that a lot before, about, you know, I got so much on my mind I can't sleep, and I never understood that because I never had a problem sleeping. I could go to sleep anywhere. As a matter of fact, I've fallen asleep many times just sitting up right there. So that just kind of was always a foreign concept to me, and never understood how people could say that. But I gotta be honest with you, I think I understand now that maybe there could be a little bit of what's been going on. But nonetheless, sleeping better now, so that's good. You'll notice today I'm using these Ohuhu brushes. I have a review on these. I'll link for you down below if you want to see my assessment of these. Love these brushes. I don't always reach and grab for them because I have so many different utensils and brushes, supplies, whatever you want to call it, that I like to, you know, make my rounds and use them all so things don't go to waste. But I do love these. They blend makeup so beautifully well and so easy to use. Whew. But anyway, not sure what all today's going to bring, to tell you the truth. Would like to get a lot of cleaning and organizing done. You guys know I've been trying to work on that a little bit this week. Things always come up here and there. This afternoon, and you're going to have to excuse me if you hear a lot of background noise because I'm washing clothes and the washer is right through this wall. So it's probably a little loud, but it is what it is. Life has to go on, right, you guys? So anyway, what I was saying was, have to have Bud up to the high school tonight. They are having a nighttime practice because for us around here, school starts back next week and their first game is Tuesday night. So I'm going to be excited to get back in the swing of the soccer. I've been missing it. Feels like forever since they've had a game. in a way, I guess it has been. So I'll be happy to have that done. But anyway, that's got to go on tonight. And there's a little friend or two of his that doesn't have a way. So we're going to have to be making some rounds, getting some of those kiddos. Meaning, we just might not get to the Christmas stuff. You know how that goes. But anyway, nonetheless, it's not hurting anybody just to sit there and be pretty. We'll enjoy it a few more days. How about that? Oh, wow. So, you guys know that we've been doing this little fast, and some of you have asked about that, so I thought I'd mention it just briefly here. We are doing the Daniel fast. Not sure if a lot of you guys have heard of that or not. We're doing it with our church. Every year, our church starts off the year with a corporate fast together, just praying for God's direction for our church for the upcoming year, praying for our nation, of course, and just realigning and resetting our focus. Sometimes it's easy during the holiday, really during the whole fall time of the year. Things get so busy that it's easy to lose our focus on what really matters, and that's kingdom work, being about the Father's business. So we like to take January as a time of fasting and prayer as a church body to just realign and refocus, make sure that we're still about the mission that we have set out upon, to make sure that God's work is being done in our community and in our own personal lives as well. So that's what we're doing. And instead of a total fast, because it is 21 days, instead of a total fast, well, everybody really can kind of construct their own fast. If they want to do a total fast, if they want to do the typical Jewish fast, that's from dusk to dawn, or dawn till dusk, however they choose to do it. But we, a majority of us, will be doing the Daniel fast, and that's taken out of the book of Daniel in the Bible. I can have that reference for you down below in the description box in case you want to check it out. But it comes from the time when he was before the king, who wanted to feed him all the delicacies of the empire. And of course, because Daniel was so sold out to God, in case you don't know the story, Daniel was so sold out to God that he didn't want to defile himself by eating a bunch of the unkosher type foods, the delicacies of the king's court. So he beseeched the king and asked the king to please just let him eat the diet that he was accustomed to eating, to avoid the delicacies that the king had to offer, and to test him. And that after 21 days, if Daniel wasn't strong and healthy, because at this time Daniel and a few of the other fellas there were taken captive, and the king wanted some strong, robust men to be able to do the work that they had been enslaved to do. And Daniel said, listen, after 3 weeks, if I'm not physically fit and able to do the work, then we'll do things your way. But please, just test our God in this. And so they did. And at the end of those 21 days, Daniel was better and more fit than the king's men were. And so it's just a great story of dedication, being sold out to the Lord and being sold out to doing things God's way, even when the pressure from outside and around you would suggest you do otherwise. So during those 21 days, the Bible tells us that Daniel ate fruit and vegetables and grains, seeds, those kind of things. Basically everything that was natural. It doesn't mention in there Daniel eating any kind of meat for those 21 days, although meat, certainly certain kinds of meat, the way they were cut and the kosher meats and that kind of stuff, were not something that God would have frowned upon. But it just doesn't mention that he had those during those 21 days. Got a lot of flyaway hairs this morning. What is going on? Anyway, so that's what we are doing around here. You guys will remember from last year, you knew that the kids participated in it. We do not force our kids to do it. Everyone is free to do it if they want to, and if they don't want to, they don't have to. Fasting and prayer has to be a very personal thing between you and God. No one can dictate that you do that. And I feel like the book of Deuteronomy, and I'm going to be doing some devotions on this on the second channel in the next coming days. But the book of Deuteronomy is very clear that when we fast out of a wrong attitude and a wrong heart reason, God doesn't receive it anyway. So if people are only doing it because they're forced into do it and their heart's not really in it, then it's not benefiting them whatsoever, and that just becomes legalism at that point. So our children are free to choose to do it if they want to do it and not do it, and both of ours have chosen that they are going to do it. Now they're going to do theirs a little bit differently, at least Bub is, because you know he still has soccer games and soccer practice, which is very strenuous on the body, and so he is still going to include the proteins in his diet from meat sources instead of just trying to get enough protein through plant-based sources, because in all honesty, the kiddos are not extremely hip on lots of variety of fruit and vegetables. I mean, really and truly, a lot of kids that age are not. Young adults are not. So anyway, he's not going to try to obtain all of his protein sources from plant-based sources. So he's still going to include his meat and still leave off the sugar and all those kind of things to enjoy with his fast. But I think baby girl, if I'm not mistaken, she's going to do the Daniel fast with me, which is fruit and vegetables all day long, no meat product, kind of like a vegetarian diet really is basically what it is, except for making it not really bland, because natural fruit in their natural states are delicious, you guys. Like, we sat down last night to eat a cantaloupe and ooh, it was so good. But the focus is not to be on trying to make these foods as wonderful as possible, because then that kind of defeats the purpose of doing without, if you know what I mean. So, and I'm not real sure yet exactly how the Hubs is doing his. Yesterday, he chose to fast breakfast and lunch like a traditional Jewish fast, and then he ate at dinner time. He just had a real small little bit of protein, actually. I think he just made a turkey sandwich, if I'm not mistaken. That's all he had, along with some vegetables. So, not sure if he's going to keep that up every day or exactly what he's going to do as far as that's concerned. Maybe just the first couple of days. So, it's kind of just different for everybody. And however they all feel led by the Lord to do is how they're going to do. So, that's that. But I know you guys have heard me talking about it. Several of you have asked the questions down in the comments, and I do have to apologize again. I am so behind on comments. Every night I sit down for a little while and catch up the best that I can. So thank you all for your patience in that regard. I'm definitely not ignoring you guys. Just taking me a little bit longer to get to them with all the craziness that's still going on. But we do read them all. When they come in, I am able to check them and at least read them. So I have been enjoying them. And I've been enjoying the fact that you guys have been so much more communicative. Is that a word? Communicative? I'm not sure. You've been talking to me a lot more. And so that's been fun. Been fun getting to know some of you guys as well. Especially those of you that don't have channels. Because there's really no other way to get to know you except for when you comment and interact with me down at the bottom. Some of you that do have channels, of course, we see and can interact with you through your videos, and that's the easiest way to get to know you. But there are a lot of you that don't have channels that faithfully watch, and so it's been fun getting to know a little bit more about you as well down in that comment section. So keep them coming. Just remember, it may take me a little while to get to you. But anyway, not sure if there was another topic that you guys have been asking about that I thought I could just address here. That seems to be the main one the last couple of days. Some of you guys have been curious about it, about that whole fasting. Fasting is so important. Fasting has a lot of health benefits to it as well. And I know someone had mentioned that about staying off of sugar after the fast is over. It is a good opportunity to try to reset your palate and to try to reset your cravings and those kind of things. And usually every year I'm real good about it for about the first, I don't know, month maybe. And then all it takes is that first bite of something sweet, and then it's like, oh man, you're just sucked right back into it. And I had done so well before I went like 18 months with no sugar, no processed foods. I was just eating meat and whole fruits and vegetables, and just had a really, really healthy diet. Lost a lot of weight to the point to where I really looked sickly because I had lost so much weight as just a natural byproduct. I wasn't counting calories, wasn't trying, but that's just what happens when you're eating the right food. So yeah, I do pretty good with it for the first couple of weeks, and then before I know it, I'm just right back in the same old habits. But I really am hoping this time to stay better at being healthier, because, you know, guys, I'm older now, and my body is just not reacting to some of this junk food in a very positive way at all. Of course, nobody, not nobody, but nobody ever does. But even worse, I think, as you get older. And then, of course, with everything we've been through with the house and all the mold that's already there. I can't tell with these lights if that's even or not. So I might be walking around with a wonky eyebrow. I don't even know. Anyway, with all the things that we've been through in the house as well, my body's just not been healthy for a very long time with yeast and mold and all that kind of stuff. And so working on it little by little. And yes, I do hope that I can stay to eating healthier foods this go around and maintaining just a healthier outlook on as far as my food choices are concerned. So we'll just have to see together how that goes. Therefore, that brings me to the fact that I am wanting to make sure that I get back started on the Transformation Tuesdays, and this time I'm going to bring the weigh-ins back. I was weighing in for you guys for a long time until I saw that the scale really wasn't moving. So then I quit weighing in. But this time I do plan to get back on the scale for you and help you guys hold me accountable. So we'll see how it goes. No promises, but that's the plan. That is the plan. Gotta get healthier. Just gotta get healthier, let my body recuperate. It had been sick for so long. I mean, I can't even describe to you how sick I was most days. I mean, there were days that we were trying to do our homeschooling that I just had my head laid down on the table, just doing everything I could just to stay awake and upright enough to finish school with the kiddos. And it was so rough. That was before we discovered we had the mold. Didn't know what was going on. Just knew that I was always sick and never seeming to recuperate and getting any better. And thankfully, to the good Lord, we discovered what in the world was going on with that and was able to get that taken care of. So I'm definitely feeling much better. I mean, you guys have watched through all the vlogs how active we are and how much we are always just busy and doing stuff, and that was not possible just a couple years ago. Matter of fact, I had someone had asked me recently where I get the energy to do everything that we do, because we do stay so busy. And my response back to her was, I think that part of it is just because my body is getting healthier again. It's still not what I would consider healthy, but it's healthier. And just the excitement that I can actually do something besides lay on a couch sick all day. And the fact that I can get up and do stuff again motivates me to get things done, if that makes sense to you. So, very excited about that, because I'm not kidding you guys. It was so rough. And I think the roughest thing about it is because we just didn't know what was going on. We did not know what was causing the problems. So it felt like there was no end in sight. You know, there were days that it was like, man, is this going to be my life forever? What's going on? Because I had always been so healthy up until now. As a matter of fact, I can remember, I'm going to use my new electric palette I got for Christmas. I can remember being little, and my mom would always talk to people about how that I was always so healthy, hardly ever had to take me to a doctor and any of that kind of stuff, because I just really had always been very, very, very healthy. And so whenever this stuff started happening, ooh, love this color. This palette, you guys, I just cannot even tell you how pleased I have been with this palette. So pretty. Anyway, when all this started happening, it was very confusing for sure, because you just couldn't figure it out. And I thought, wow, my health had really taken a 180-degree turn there, and it it was bad. I don't know how else to say it. It's just bad. So now that I'm actually feeling better and able to do stuff and decorate again and just clean again and do whatever I gotta do during the daytimes again, it's just awesome. It feels so good. So those of you that have been through any kind of like chronic illness or something along those lines, I can totally relate. I can empathize with you there. It is rough stuff and it's so frustrating, especially if you had been healthy before. And I know that there are some people that just kind of have never really known what it is to be real healthy and to feel good. And so they may not fully understand. And what I mean by that, it's like when we discovered that my daughter had needed glasses, she had just always seen blurry. We didn't know that because, you know, we would test her out little bits here at home and she always seemed to be seeing fine. And she could see, but not crisp and clear. And the day that she put her first glasses on, she was like, whoa, is this what it was looking like the whole time? So it was just kind of like that. You didn't know what you were missing until you finally had it. And then it was like, whoa. So I know that there are a lot of people who struggle with health issues, maybe their whole lives have struggled, and don't really understand what it's like to feel normal or feel good. But when you have always felt normal and felt good, then to get sick, not know what's causing it, and then to think, oh, man, is this going to be the rest of my life? Yeah, that was so frustrating. Very frustrating indeed. So I think that's kind of what motivates me to stay so active now, is to enjoy every moment that I can actually get up to do stuff. Now, you guys know that I'm having issues with my foot. So as far as a lot of strenuous activity, being upright on my feet, still can't really do that in long periods of time. I can get up, start doing stuff, get things done, and then I have to sit down and rest that foot again, which is one of the reasons why this weight is not coming off, because you've definitely got to burn more than you're taking in. So it would be almost for me like not eating at all to be able to reduce my calories enough to keep up with my physical physical assertion. I'm having trouble talking today. Anyway, that's what it would be like. And so just definitely not prepared for that yet. Not to cut out all my food. Anyway, little by little, I guess maybe we'll get there. But and yeah, that part's still frustrating for me, because we've always been active together as a family, just either outside in the yard with the kids playing. Before we had the kids, the hubs and I were always at the racquetball court or the tennis court. We had our bicycles that we would ride all over town. I mean, we would go on like 30, 40-mile bike rides a day, just riding around different parts of town together, and just always were active, just walking and just, you know, doing all kinds of activity together. So to have to be relegated pretty much to being stationary is not sitting well with me. I'm not lazy by any stretch of the words, and I don't like having to sit there watching other people be up and be active, and you can't be. The foot is doing much better, but I really think that I may be at the point to where I might just have to break down and go get it checked, because it actually started in my leg a couple of years ago, and I've shown the doctor several times. I've shown the cancer doctor twice now that we've been to see her, and I've also shown my regular doctor that I go to. I've shown a couple of the doctors in a few of the walk-in clinics that I had visited for other issues, but I would just show it to them and mention it to them while I was there, just thinking, okay, I just want everybody to look at it. They can't. I've never had it x-rayed though. But a nodule had actually come up on that leg. Oh goodness. It's been maybe about 2 summers ago now, 2.5 years ago, I guess. And I was very concerned about that nodule. And that was one of the first trips that we made to the cancer doctor, because that's how concerned about it that I was. But she cut that off and tested it, and it came back absolutely fine, just normal skin tissue. And she said sometimes skin tissue will just multiply on itself really fast and cause little growths to happen, and there's absolutely nothing to them. But around this same spot developed a couple of bruises, that have they're still there. These bruises have been there now for a couple of years, and I've shown them, like I said, to several different doctors. They've mashed around, felt around, done all the things externally, but I've never had an x-ray taken of it yet. And so I'm just not so sure. I mean, I know, you know, the blood counts always come up fine. They've never seemed to be concerned in any way. They've never suggested x-rays, or just, you know, they've just kind of chalked it up to just one of those things. But I don't know. Now that the bottom of my foot is hurting so bad, and don't know exactly what's happened there, there's been nothing that's happened that I know of that has felt like it should have been an injury enough to cause this kind of pain. I mean, you know, you'd think if you hurt yourself in that kind of way, you'd remember. So, I don't know. I just probably am at the place now to where I just might need to go get it checked and see if it's all connected together. Chances are the pain in the bottom of that foot there and in my archway, chances are it's not even related at all anyhow. But I just won't know till I go get it checked. So, doesn't hurt to be safe. I just have hated to do it because, you know, I just hate to go to the doctor. Let's just be honest. And B, you just hate to spend money whenever most of the time everything comes out a-okay. Does that make sense to you? It's like, okay, it's going to come out good anyway. Everything's going to be fine, so why go pay the doctor? It was kind of like when the kids were little. They would get sick, and of course, as a young mom, you rush them to the doctor every time they barely sniffle just to make sure that it's nothing serious. And then every time they would be fine. And then you're like, if I just would have waited a day or two, we would have seen this was just a normal cold. But you just get so anxious wanting to make sure they're okay. And that's just how I felt about my foot. You know, I kept telling my husband, I'd say, it's going to be okay, it's going to get better, it's going to be fine, and I'm going to go to the doctor and spend all this money. They're going to tell me nothing's wrong, that I just have to wait out the pain, and, you know, but I'm just not so sure at this point because it has been a little while now. So that does inhibit me from exercise, and that's what started this whole thing, in case you forgot which direction we were going. See, I go on rabbit trails, but I always know how to get back on the main track. That's inhibiting me from being able to exercise and to be able to get some of the weight off that I'd like to get off. But anyway, that's my story today, and I'm sticking to it. So we'll see over the next couple weeks what I decide to do about that foot. It's getting a lot better. I mean, it had gotten so bad that honestly, I was having to sit down in a chair like this to do children's church every day. Oops, and I may be going behind my mirror. My mirror seems to be up a lot higher today, you guys. Well, sorry about that. It's not a tutorial, just chit chat, so hopefully that's all right with you. Anyway, I was having to sit down in a chair to do children's church. It had gotten so bad, and now I can make it all the way through Sundays. So I know it is improving, and I do try to stay off of it as much as I possibly can during the week, just to continue to letting it heal, because I know that's what you have to do. You have to stay off of it, keep it elevated and all that stuff. But it does hinder me around here, not being able to do still quite as much as what I want to be able to do. But anyway, I'm certainly grateful for the help that I do have, and I'm certainly grateful that I'm feeling so much better than I was a couple years ago. And I am enjoying every minute of it and helping that to motivate me to stay active when I can, pay attention to my body, learn its limits and not push too far, but to get done what I need to get done. Tell you what, you guys, I am loving the colors on this palette. So happy that I have this thing. Very pretty. I'm going to play around with this new teal lipstick today. Get these eyelashes on first. Alright, now let's play around a little bit with this lip color. You guys will remember from the vlog this past Sunday, we stopped into Ulta. And I wish my microphone was good enough. You guys are not going to be able to hear it, but those chickens are at it again, you guys. We've got some wild chickens that run around here. And every once in a while they get close enough you can hear them cackling away. It's always so funny. I like to hear them. Anyway, you guys will remember that we stopped in Ulta and I picked up this awesome teal lip color. You know, I already have a few more of those. I haven't even opened this up to swatch it this week. Has been a little busy. So let's just play with it today, shall we? And see what happens. I know people pick on me all the time because of my bright, bold makeup choices. This is freaking awesome. Wow. Oh, you guys probably couldn't even see me putting that on most of the time because of this doggone mirror. I'm not sure why that's so much higher today. Maybe we have the camera sitting lower. But anyway, look at that lip color. So beautiful. Oh, wow. This is the infallible paints from L'Oreal. Love that. That is so beautifully pigmented. And yes, I will wear this out of the house. You guys have seen me do it many times. It often makes Kristen cringe. Like, oh, Mom, you're going to really wear that? I remember going to one of Boo's soccer games, and she's like, are you really going to wear that? You're going to embarrass him in front of all his friends. And he's fine with it. He doesn't get embarrassed by it, but she does. I love this color. Not normally a color that I would match with this eye look, but while we were playing around today, I thought, hey, why not? So yeah, I like that. Like that a lot. All right, that's it for this little get ready with me. Hope you guys enjoyed it and stayed all the way till the end so you could see these lips. How about that? Anyway, I want to thank you so much for sitting here and chatting with me for a while. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, the best weekend of your life. I hope that or best weekend of your life up till now. I hope it's not going to be the best one you ever have. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching. Remember, you were created for purpose, so go be all you can be. I'll see you soon in the next video.